This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, ho there. It's Jeff Cardano welcoming you to another sports catastrophe on this day. And on this day, May the 28th, 1995, 26 years ago, Canadian history was made as a Canadian driver won the Indy 500. Yes, I talked about the 92 race and how close Scott Goodyear was to winning it in the closest finish in Indy history still to this day. But worst of all was in 95. It was a miracle of things. However, one of the biggest moments was the fact that Al Unser Jr. and Emerson Fittipaldi both missed out on qualifying for the Indy 500. It was weird how Penske, in 1994, they were the best team in IndyCar, and then they lost the chance to have any of their two cars qualify. Basically, they started to decline. Penske declined until 2000 when Gilles de Ferran won the kart title. So basically, the big moment was when Scott Goodyear, 10 laps left, tried to get a jump on Villeneuve, who was in second place at that time, but passed the pace car before the green flag was held, so he was given a stop-and-go penalty. Goodyear refused to serve the penalty, and basically, Goodyear was stopped scoring at lap 195, which gave Jacques Villenueve the lead and the victory. But after video evidence, Scott Goodyear was alert and knew that the light was yellow, so basically they couldn't protest. So that was huge. But the funny thing was that Jacques Villeneuve's day wasn't without incident himself. He actually was penalized 2 laps for inadvertently passing the pace car during a caution period. But with strategy and luck, he actually won the race. All that. So anyway, there was a bigger issue at hand in 95. With CART sanctioning the IndyCar Series and the U.S. Auto Club sanctioning the Indy 500. But the Indy management said they had a league, the Indy Racing League, and all that. So the Indy Racing League basically had the Indy 500 stuff as their centerpiece. Basically, CART would be out in the cold in a sense. 2002, they finally decided to merge together, like CART and IRL. So to make IndyCar right now. So anyway. It was huge, all that. It was weird how Penske dominated, and then all of a sudden they couldn't. Well, their engines were not allowed a certain amount of boost. Like it was shut down on a little bit. And Firestone was allowed to have tires at Indy for the first time since 1974. So, of course, we all know about the Indy Racing League. As I told you, it wasn't that easy. So, it was race day. Scott Goodyear was racing third. Qualified third behind Arie Luyendyk and Scott Braden. No, sorry, Scott Braden won the racing car. Had a chance to, Scott Braden had got the pole. Scott Goodyear was third. Jacques Villenueve was fifth. So a lot of people failed. Emerson Fittipaldi failed a couple times. Alonso Jr. failed. Yeah, it wasn't to be all that. Rain almost threatened the race, but it stopped. It stopped in enough time that there was only a 5-minute delay. So anyway, Stan Fox had had his car really destroyed with the debris and all that. Fox had a closed head injury due to G-forces. Despite his exposed extremities, because the front nose was ripped off and the legs and body were exposed as the car hit the crash fence, he had no major injuries. But unfortunately, Jacques Villeneuve got penalized at lap 37 as Arlie Luyendijk tried to get past Scott Sharp, and there was a yellow flag for debris. Villeneuve wasn't aware he was leading the pack, and the pace car was supposed to get in front of Villeneuve. But Villeneuve went by it twice. All that. So basically, he got penalized. Like, they took away 2 laps from him. He didn't have to go to the pits to serve the penalty. So, thanks to some spins and all that, Jacques Villeneuve was allowed to, piled up the laps to get back on the lead lap. All that. So, of course, Scott Goodyear was trying to get the jump on Villeneuve, but sadly, though, he jumped too quickly. All that. So, team owner Steve Horns told Goodyear to keep going because they could protest the penalty. All that. Goodyear ended up in 15th place. And he was not too happy about it. But basically, timing and scoring evidence said that Goodyear did pass under yellow, and the team did not file protest. Yeah. If he had actually came into the pits to serve his stop and go penalty, he would have ended up 7th, not 15th. So yeah, it was huge. And it was also huge for Villeneuve because he actually went on to win the car championship and went to F1. All that. Many people would not come back to the Indy 500 because of the open wheel split between the USAC and the IRL. So anyway, yeah, not too good. So Fittipaldi took. Christian Fittipaldi ended up taking second behind Jacques Villeneuve. Bobby Rahal took third. Not bad. Eli Salazar of Chile took fourth. Robbie Gordon, remember him? He used to race in NASCAR, but he raced IndyCars and he took 5th place. Also on the lead lap was Mauricio Gugelmin and Arlie Luyendijk. So not bad. But there were some accidents and all that. Paul Tracy got bit. But anyway, yeah. It was huge and all that. But unfortunately for Scott Braden, yeah, he won the pole and all that. But his career and life would end at Indy the next year. On a practice session after clinching his 3rd straight pole, he ended up crashing and dying. Very tragic indeed. But anyway, Jacques Villeneuve is the only Canadian to win the Indy 500. And that's something. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.